Sync. For the algorithm, one take Jake. I watched Chicken Little earlier today with a new. That was the. That's what we watched earlier today.
For a minute, I was like, "Oh, you just," and then I'm like, "Oh, for the channel." You didn't just sit down
just
and
for the
watch
pure
Chicken
joy.
Little. Yeah.
We did get recently. We got like an old box CRT television. Like I picked one up on the Facebook Marketplace, and I'm so happy with that. It has like a VHS slot in there, and I've just been watching, going to those old record stores and just buying VHSs of old movies. I'm like, yes. It's like watching movies in that quality. I don't know, man. It just takes you back. I'm like, this is how I remember watching it. Like this, when I first saw this movie. This is how it was in my mind. It's great.
That's very nice. That's so cute.
How you doing, Cam? Cam is all haired out.
Sorry, what did you say?
Cam is all haired out.
Oh, I am haired out. That's about all I have to contribute here. I had little things in it, and then I said, never mind, no I don't. This is... Maybe this is worth talking about. I have no idea how to do my hair. I don't know
hair tutorials.
I don't know how to style. I mean, I know how to style it insofar as I know what to do when it's wet to make it dry and look decent, which it looks fine today. But I don't know what to do when it's dry, basically. Cuz for when I was younger, I brushed it, which you're not supposed to do with curly hair. So if you see in some of my a lot of it's not in videos. A lot of it was before I even started making videos, but I thought I had to brush it, so it was all poofy. And then in middle school, I straightened it. And then in high school, I had one style, which was that I would just sort of pull the top back and wear it like that all the time. And that was the one thing that I did.
I've seen you in videos like that.
And occasionally, maybe 4 times in my life, I've done little pigtails up here. And outside of that, I don't know what I'm doing. I wish I could. I like how French braids look. I have no idea how to French braid my own hair. I don't understand how people style their own hair. And I know that some people say that about makeup, where they're like, oh, I don't know how to do makeup. And I'm like, oh, I just taught myself. I just watched lots of videos when I was younger, and I figured out how to do makeup. Is that what I'm supposed to do with it? But I can't see it. I can't see what I'm doing. I don't know. And I don't even know what hairstyles I want to do. With me, it's oh, it's all vibes and intuition when I'm doing my makeup. It's just what do I feel like doing today? With my hair, I'm I have no idea what I am doing. The idea of blowing my hair dry and then curling it is which I guess is fine, but it's just, I don't know.
That's how I feel with with braids, because I'm supposed to, with afro, I'm supposed to braid my hair before I sleep every night, and then, but I just throw the bonnet over it, and that's because I'm I don't know how to braid. I feel theoretically I could braid up to here, I could braid right up to here, but beyond that point, nah.
Yeah. It's so, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I
don't know what to do with my hair, though. I just got the pick.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, with the fist on it.
That's funny.
This is the quintessential pick that every black person owns with an afro. It has a little fist on the end, the little black power fist.
Yeah.
This is what we all got. If you don't got the fist pick, you ain't, Joe Biden said, you ain't black.
You ain't black, yeah.
But I mean, your hair, I feel like that was one of the first things I noticed. When I seen your videos, I was like, Cam has really good hair. You got nice, your hair is always in good condition.
Oh, thanks. You also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's all the different colors that you've had throughout the years and everything.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You caught me right before I started screwing around with it a lot, which I never thought I would. No, come up here. Which I never thought I would do. It was a huge jump when I was in college to bleach the ends of it, and I was really freaked out that I was gonna damage it. And then I was like super duper careful about it, and it came out really nice, and I liked how it looked, and my hair curled and everything like normal. And then after a certain point, I just started, like, I was bleaching it myself. I was always super careful, and then I started dyeing it different colors, and I was considerably less careful. And then, like, there was one point where I had, like, a little bit of a fiasco because I was dyeing it. I was always dyeing it, like, light pink. That was really the one color. I say colors. It was just pink. But I wanted it to be light pink, and I got what I thought was light pink, and it ended up being bright red.
Yo, I remember this.
I had bright red hair for a period of time, which is funny because it looked like Cat Valentine.
Yeah, there was a time like when we would like I want to say like in the early days when we were like making reactions together. Every time I saw you, your hair was like a slightly different shade. Yeah. And I'd be like, not that much time has passed. I'd be thinking, how she is going to that beauty section, and she is like, she's picking different things out like on a regular basis.
I was like trying out all these different like color depositing conditioners and like all these different, like trying to find my favorite like pastel pink, because I wanted it to be like subtle, but I wanted it to be like noticeably pink, and every once in a while it looked like that, but a lot of the time it didn't. And it was always from like mixing all these products, so I was always trying to figure out the right way to do it. And then like when the red thing happened, then I started trying to put all this stuff in my hair to like get the red out, which is like really not good for your hair. To just like be like loading it up with bleach, being like, please. And also like red is a notoriously difficult color to get out of your hair. And so I just like, I really messed it up, and suddenly it like wasn't curling anymore, and it just would be all like janky and really bad looking. And I like my normal routine would just, my hair would just look really like nasty and gross. And so then I tried this like, I tried a couple different like Denman brush things. It didn't work. And then, or at least they didn't, I don't know. They didn't work how I wanted them to. And then I was like, oh, my hair doesn't have enough. It needs like protein. Like the bonds are broken. So I started doing protein treatments, and it turns out you can do too many protein treatments and it makes your hair even worse. So then I was like over proteining my hair for a while. And I've finally I went to a curly hair salon a couple months ago, and I was like, help! And then, sorry, that was loud, but I was like, help! And then, they helped me out, and I sort of changed my routine, and I feel like I'm back in a decent place again.
I was just going back to, because I remember I was trying to think when you had red hair. I was like, it was when we were watching The Idol. You had red hair. Yeah. So I went back and I was like seeing you with red hair in The Idol. I was like, that was a good tone. I like the red hair. I have a habit of not. It was also a weird length, and it like stuck out. Like I have this very distinct image in my head of, I think we were watching The Idol, and my hair is just like very like diamond rhombus shaped, where it like sticks out and then like tapers down. Oh yeah.
And it's bright red. And I was like, what was I gonna say about that? Oh, just that I have this habit of not clearing out my SD cards. I will just sort of like delete until I have enough space to film again. So I'll plug in an SD card and stuff comes up from like, I literally have one that has homecoming pictures from high school still on it, because I'm like, I don't need to format this. I just keep deleting the videos and I can keep filming. But one of them, I will open it up and it's just like me with red hair. I'm like, whoa, I forgot about that. Anyway,
I just sent you a picture from when we were watching The Idol. I probably won't edit this in, but so you'll just have to go back and watch us watch The Idol. But
yeah, true. But yeah. Oh, that was on the tail end of it. At that point, it was like salmon, and I was more like, it was actually, well, I don't know. I guess I would have been in college at any point during that. But there was, when we were watching, I think, not Andrew Tate. Maybe it was like Pearly Things. It was some sort of right-wing content like that, where I remember I was in my room and there was a giant spot on the wall where I'd like ripped the paint off. And I tried to paint over it, and I I mixed the paint wrong, so it's like a considerably different color, and I'm pretty sure that it's visible. And I have bright red hair. It's very.
Oh wait,
very cool.
I think I found some bright red. It was when we were. I'm about to send it to you. It was when we were watching one of the 50 Shades movies.
Mm.
We really watched a lot of movies together. When I'm like going through,
we have a huge backlog.
We watched
a lot. Very funny.
I just sent it to you.
That's still we're in our salmon era. I think our conclusion. You have to edit this because otherwise it's just gonna.
They're not gonna make sense.
It's just gonna be us sending pictures back and forth. I think the video on my channel where we're talking about the idol, I might have bright red hair. I also might not. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. The video on my channel. Where we're talking
I'm looking
about
at the
idol.
Andrew Tate video from 3 years ago. That's wild. That's wild that we talked about Andrew Tate. That was like before.
What was
Dude,
so
we were ahead.
before.
I was ahead of my time, bro.
The journey.
I feel like I'm often ahead of my time. I feel like this is a thing. Like Dave Blunt's, bro. You see the trajectory.
Did I tell you? I think I told you I went to a St. Patrick's Day party and they were playing Dave Blunt's.
And no one was watching it. Just like Kanye said, years ahead but way behind. That's that's me. No, in that Andrew Tate, you just had like a general, like brown. It was like dark and then just kind of like brown, but also you were like using your webcam, so it was kind of like.
Looks like the Idol episode 2. This is such bad content.
They're gonna have to look this up.
You have to edit.
We'll see. We'll see.
But the Idol episode 2, I have decently red hair and I'm wearing a thing on my head because I'm being camera on.
Oh yeah, when you had the pink. That was when you were like dropped in panties. Yeah, that was the episode. Anyway, I titled this Mormon because I've been watching a lot of Mormon content lately. For some reason, my YouTube Shorts feed has been nothing but this YouTuber. I think her name is like Alicia Greenfield or something.
I wonder
she's
if I know
like,
who you're talking about.
She's a former Mormon. She's been Mormon until like probably fairly recently. She's like my age, and she probably was a Mormon until she was like 24, like 23 years old. So,
oh yeah, I've seen a couple shorts from her, I think.
I keep seeing her, and I've been like delving into the Mormons, and it's been like, I'm like, what type of religion is this? Like, what is? Oh yeah, Noob got tricked into attending a Mormon service recently.
Oh no.
I feel like I need to bring him on to tell this, and he is here, but I don't. It's like. Hey, come here, and then like talk. But pretty much his old friend from like childhood messaged him and it was like, hey, you want to come hang out? We're doing, it's like a church event, and Noob is like, all right, this is like a friend. He's like a family friend. We haven't seen each other in church events in like the black community. It's like church in the black community is a very like thing that goes together. Like it's just kind of like locked. I feel like white people are more like, I don't know, like separated, but like church in the black community is like an interlocked thing. It's like we're just deep in that. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna go there. He goes there, and they start pulling out the Book of the Mormon, and he's like, oh no, like he's like, what did I get myself into? And he was there for like a few hours. And he was just like debunking everything that they were saying, like, to the point where they got upset at him and like, you need to leave, like. But so the weirdest things about the Mormon I see is just like, I feel like this is the case for a lot of religion, is just the kind of like subservient nature of women, like but it's extreme in the Mormon religion where like the only way for a woman to get to heaven is if she marries a man and he goes to heaven, which like through the temple. Like it's solely based on that. Like her say has nothing. It's solely based on if her husband can, because the husband is supposed to like bring them to the temple. So that's why like Mormons are like, they'll have like not 8 or 9 like
because they're all
and stuff.
banking on that guy. to get them into heaven.
They're like, this is a spiritual man. This is going to be our way into heaven. Like, and that's why like plastic surgery is very common in the Mormon community, because they're like, you know, if my husband doesn't like me at this certain point, then I'm not going to get to heaven. Like, it's like a very like fear-based like religion, and that is just like a crazy mindset to have. Like, it's like, do you even really like this person, or like?
Yeah. I was hearing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And there's like because you know how like a Mormon man might have like 8 or 9 wives. Mm-hmm. So there's like common occurrence where there's like the Mormon lost boys, because you know the math just doesn't add up. Like, if one person is having like 7 or 8 wives, then you know there's like a large amount of like Mormon lost boys who aren't getting married, and they're kind of like pushed away from the church, and a lot of times they turn to like drugs and addiction, and they're homeless because they grew up in Mormon. They don't have any knowledge. Like, they've never been to a doctor. They're like, and they kind of like are casted out from the society, like,
that's
because they
wild.
don't serve a purpose anymore.
The one thing I remember hearing from someone who, I had a friend who was very interested in like, she's interested in like cult religions, and I'm hesitating on whether or not to call this a cult. I don't know enough about it.
It's a cult. It's definitely a cult.
But she said that she was like talking to someone about it, and there is, okay, I'm now turning to you as the Mormon expert. There's heaven, and then there's like not heaven, but it's not hell. There's a different thing.
Purgatory?
Right? I don't think it's purgatory, because purgatory is where you wait, right? Like, you don't stay in purgatory, or do you?
Yeah, purgatory is like the waiting, but there's also like yeah, like when you die and until like the apocalypse happens, like, and then, but I don't know. I know Jehovah's Witness has like a casted out, like there's heaven, and then there's like the people that don't make it are left on the abandoned earth or something. But
oh, okay, wait. Spirit Prison. That's what it's called.
Spirit. That sounds like that's a great band name. I need to create like a shoegaze band called Spirit Prison.
Totally. But so from what I remember, there is, and this is very, very, very vague, but there's like heaven, aka spirit paradise, and then there's spirit prison, and then I think this person was telling her that hell is only for demons and apostates. Apostates being people who turned away from the religion, basically.
Okay. So the people who had the knowledge but denied them. Because, like, you know, that is always, like, a clause in a lot of religion. Because, like, statistically, there's always going to be someone in, like, a third world country who is never going to have outside access to the world, who will never even hear about, like, you know, this religion, and they have to, like,
be like, you guys are okay. Yeah.
They have to be accounted for.
But yeah, the thing that my friend was like, okay, so wait, if I never join the religion, then I have no chance of going to hell. She was like, so you're saying that, like, if I never become Mormon, then I'm guaranteed to not go to your hell. But if I do become Mormon and then I renounce, then I go to hell. So it seems like the way to avoid that is to just not ever become Mormon. And I was like, that's kind of wacky. But I don't know the specifics of that. But yeah, that's that. And I know they have like, I don't know. I remember seeing one person on like Twitter once who was not, I don't know if he wasn't someone I followed, but he was someone that like people I followed. And he was basically like, hey, don't like mock Mormonism. It's a meaningful religion to some of us. And I'm like,
hey, Joseph Smith.
But
Joseph Smith was assassinated in Illinois. He was he's your people, man.
Isn't he your people too? Where's he from? I don't remember.
He's from Virginia.
Oh, okay. I'm totally wrong.
Or Vermont? VT. No, yeah, that's Vermont.
Okay.
Wait, right?
Yeah. I don't know why I thought he was from Ohio.
So the whole, basically the Mormon, they believe that like Jesus went to America at one point.
Yeah.
Like, and like the whole, like Joseph Smith is a prophet, and he would receive revelations by like like looking into a sacred hat, and like the the message would come to him. And apparently there was like all these ancient wars with Mormons and Native Americans, and they were battling each other, and it was a whole thing. Like I think Missouri is a big important part of the Mormon religion. There's like they buy a lot of land in Missouri. Like Missouri is very important to the Mormon religion.
What's the other? I'm trying to remember what the other thing there was like a town that they were always talking about, but this might have just been I saw the Book of Mormon, the musical.
Oh, the musical.
And they talked about what was a town they were always talking about? I can't remember. Book of Mormon, I feel like I take some, leave some. Some of it was like but a lot of it I found really funny. One of the things I found this is completely unrelated, but like at the beginning, it's like they're in their little Mormon school and they're getting assigned where they're gonna do their mission, and so they have like these two guys and like their families, or maybe just one of their family. I don't remember. They're like on stage talking and they're at home, and the way that they signify that they're at the airport is they just push out a cart with a bunch of neck pillows on it, and that's how you know they're at the airport now. And it just made me laugh a lot. Oh man, what was that town? Oh, Salt Lake City, of course.
Utah, of course.
Yeah. They were always talking about Salt Lake City and how that was like the land of paradise. And how like, oh, one day we're going to go to Salt Lake City. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the Holy of Holies is a room adjoining the celestial room of the Salt Lake City Temple. The room is described as in the Encyclopedia of Mormonism. Beyond its sliding doors are 6 steps similar doors symbolic of the veil guarded of the Holy of Holies in ancient times. So, apparently women are not allowed in the temple. Like when you visit the temple, women are not allowed at all. They can't speak. And I was reading how like Mormons are almost like, you know how like Jewish people are, it's a religion but it's also like a race. Because Mormons are like, Mormonism is almost
they're
a race.
They're very homogenous.
Yeah, like they all look alike. Like if you look at a Mormon, they all look alike, and they're all probably like distantly related to each other because they're all like, they're all in Utah pretty much. Like like so it's, and they're all in this together, you know?
Yeah. I just saw something about, I think it was like this ex-Mormon just randomly came up in like, I don't know if it was my YouTube shorts or what, but it was this woman talking about how like her Mormon wedding just didn't go the way that she wanted it to, because like she didn't get to she was like talked out of wearing the dress that she wanted to, and she didn't get to like do all these things, and she was just very isolated and all these different things. And she was basically like, the one thing that I got out of it was my husband, because he's still cool, but neither of us are Mormons anymore. I was like, oh, that's nice, I guess.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
The garments, man. Those garments.
Yeah.
What is the deal? Mormons knock on my door sometimes, and I'm like, what are you doing out here? Like, when I see them. But, like, they knock on my door, and my first thought is, I'm like, you're wearing those garments. Like, I don't say it, but any interaction I've ever had with a Mormon, like, my whole life, like, when I've been a little kid, and, you know, you get the knock on the door, are your parents home? I'm like, you're those Mormons. That means you're wearing garments. That's the first thought I'm thinking of. Funny. Like, if I see a Mormon, I'm like, the garments are on. It's a weird thing. You're wearing, like, trousers up in here, bro. Like,
I'm just imagining, like, a little kid opens the door and immediately goes, are you wearing special underwear? And they're like, Are you wearing magic? And apparently the female Mormons have to be, like, checked to make sure that they're wearing it by like a male, like, elder Mormon. They do random garment checks. Like, it can be just done at random. They're like, are you wearing your garments? Like, it's a thing, cool.
bro.
Very cool. You love to see it.
But I've been seeing constant Mormon stuff in my timeline, and I just don't understand. I guess you could say this about all religions, but Mormonism is such a specific, it's almost connected to like Scientology. It's almost as goofy as Scientology, where I'm like, it feels like it's so fictional. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
again, the same could be said about all religions, but like maybe it's because these are like newer religions, so
Uh-huh.
they haven't had like the time to like become ingrained into the way society runs, like Christianity and like Islam and Judaism are like old religions, and like our whole society is kind of built around these like religions, and we're kind of used to that. But I don't know, Mormonism and Scientology just freak me out. Like I don't get it. What
Yeah.
do you get from this?
It is interesting. If I could do it again, if I could do college again, I might take a religious studies class or two, which I never like would have thought I would do for most of college. And then near the end, I was like, maybe this is something, because I was just like, what, like why? Like it's
Yeah.
so not something that I am interested in or like impacted by. But I would just be curious about like, yeah, what is the nature of like why we are okay with certain religions and not other ones, and like what is it that makes these, because there is definitely, I'm sure there's like a typology to it, like that makes it
Yeah.
so that the like Abrahamic religions are okay, and even like, you know,
The Asian
certain Asian,
ones.
that's what I was gonna say, like East Asian
Yeah.
religions are okay. But then when it comes to these specific, is Scientology American? I assume.
It
But I
was
don't know.
Aaron. It was that writer. It was based off the teachings of what's that Hubbard?
Oh,
Who
L.
is
Ron Hubbard, that's right.
yeah.
Um,
So wherever wherever he is from.
I'm actually not gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna look it up and make sure. Yeah, it's American. Okay, maybe it's something about them being invented in America, where the type of like something is just different. Where it's like it's just hits different and it's different. But
Well, I think it's because the society was built around it. Like someone decided, like, because if you
mhm,
think about like the world before Christianity, Christianity was seen as like that, but then like the society, like the emperor, like they like made that like this is what we will do, so it just became like part of it. And
mhm,
the same with like the Asian religions, like Buddhism and like Shintoism and all that. Like
yeah,
their whole like even it's so ingrained that the people who don't even practice it, it's like when people say like bless you, like or you know
yeah.
like or things like
Goodbye.
yeah
Goodbye is
goodbye,
God be with
or
you.
people saying like oh my god, like I can't
Yeah.
believe this, I can't believe this when
Oh
people
my God, I
say
can't
that.
believe this.
When people say that, like people are they're not being like oh my god, like they're not, but it's so ingrained into it where it's just like it's normal, like whereas if someone is like oh my Joseph Smith or something, that's
Uh
weird.
huh.
But I don't know, give it like a couple of thousand years and it might not be as I don't know.
Well, I was
But
gonna
it
say maybe
yeah.
there's the imperialism angle too, where it's like people sort of become religious by force. I don't know if that's applicable to every world religion that's considered like a proper religion,
Yeah.
but like a lot of them are. I'm really, I don't know. I don't want to get too into specifics, but I'm like a lot of religions were spread by like conquest,
Yeah.
and
It
so
was
that
forced, yeah.
yeah. Um
And like what was I about to say? Like oh yeah, have you seen like certain Middle Eastern countries like pre-Islam? Like
mhm.
like the complete difference like of what it was. Like if you look up like Middle Eastern countries like pre-Islam, it was like it's a completely different thing. So
Interesting.
like that can like a whole societal shift. Like one man in power. I mean that's Trump man, but like one
Mhm.
person in power can cause like a
Yeah.
whole societal shift. Like in the like they'll just like you know when an emperor decides Christianity will be the religion of the Roman Empire, like
Yeah.
then that's and you know empire conquers that then the Roman Empire conquers everything. That's just like that's what
Right.
happens.
It was like we kind of talked about that when I was talking to the local in Granada. I was thinking when you were saying that, I'm also thinking there were like the pictures of places like I think Iraq and Iran where it's like before the invasions and stuff, but that's
Yeah.
probably maybe a different thing than what you're talking about. But I remember talking to one of the locals in Granada about how like there was a time where I don't want to butcher what he told me, but just basically that there were like there was like Islam and Judaism and Christianity, I'm gonna say it was those three coexisting, and then like the oh god, the Inquisition happened.
Yeah.
And then everyone kind of got driven out. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to offer there. That's where I'm like, I was so like, you know, my religion is so like cultural. Like I'm very secular. Like I don't even put like a label on it because I'm like, I don't know. Am I like Reconstructionist? I don't know. Does that still? I don't know. It's just a vibe. It's just a vibe to me. So I'm like, I took no interest in religion because I just sort of was like, it felt like really not a thing that I wanted to learn about. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like,
I feel like it's important. I feel like just from a cultural perspective, it's important to learn. Because because religion has been historically a foundational part of society.
It's super formative.
Like it's like as long as man has been like cognitive, we've like assigned reasons for like beyond ourselves as to why things are happening. You know, even if it was like, oh, it's raining, like this is the rain god, like you know, like it's I don't know, it's so in like man to worship something, like it's like it's like we're just naturally like. like programmed to worship something.
I just had that like Reddit atheist brain approach where I was like, well, why study something that's like made up? It's like, all right, let's cool it. This is not. I just learned that one of a political commentator that I really like. I was curious. I've been on this binge of oh my god, what did X person study in college? Because I'm like, I have a weird major and I need to know that other people also had weird majors. But I looked it up, and he was a religious studies major, and I was like, that's so weird, because he's not religious. But I guess he majored in that, which is interesting.
I mean, I would love to study other religions, just from, like, a historical, cultural standpoint. Like, I mean, me personally, you know, I'm black. I grew up, I'm not, like, one of these people that's, like, going around trying to convert people, but, like, you know, my family, I've always been, like a Christian person. Like, that's... Yeah. It's like, it served me well, it served my family well, you know, like, this is, like, it's for me, but I'm not one of them people that's, like, out here, like trying to do something, but, like, I feel it's important, man, especially because it's, like, because religion has, like, controlled society for, like, people have gotten away with so much, just, like, if you can, be like, oh, it's not me that's saying this, it's God saying this, then... You can do anything. Like, if you can assign some sort of reasoning to, like, this is God saying this, then
there was a really interesting some sort of writing that I read like a couple years ago by this guy named Asif Bayat, who I later learned works at my university, but I was too scared to go and talk to him. But I was like, oh my god, I so wanted to, but I was like, I was so scared. But he talked something, and I can't find it now, but it was something about, like, basically what you're saying, that, like, maybe not spiritual warfare, I don't know if that was the verbiage that he used, but just basically, like, the way that ideologies like that sort of form the basis for these, like, enormous wars, and I feel like I feel like I've spent this podcast butchering the words of smarter people, but
you don't gotta. This is the podcast. We're not in here. I mean, there are like informed. This is just we're just saying what's on the top of our heads. Yeah. You don't gotta have a sources list.
Oh my god.
But it's always crazy to me, like when you think about like, cause what was that old religion like that was before Christianity, before Abrahamic, before Judaism, like before it was like before all of it.
I don't know where paganism factors in.
It was like similar. Like if you look at the writings, it's so similar to Abrahamic religions, but it was like a precursor to it. But if you look at that, it's like. It's just so interesting how like I wonder what's in us to where we constantly like are looking to worship something. Like maybe it's like our innate desire to like feel like there's someone like
Bigger
there's
than
some purpose
us.
to all of this. Like there's
Yeah.
like even if we're going through something, there's a reason for this. Like it's not always going to be this bad. Like something, but like for we're just like assigning some greater purpose behind everything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the
know.
deep cast.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wait, religion before Abraham.
What's the one? Isn't like Wicca more recent than? It's one of those things that sounds like it's old, but it's. Oh, began in the 1940s.
Yeah, I'm like
Part of
Wicca.
the
I feel
larger
like was
contemporary
not that
pagan
long.
movement. I just remember seeing it was like a tweet or something where it was like things that sound like they're old but are actually pretty recent, and then like Wicca was one of them, but I don't remember what the other ones were. I didn't realize how. It makes sense. I didn't realize how broad of like an umbrella term pagan is.
Yeah.
That it's just sort of like all these different like pagan religions, which makes sense because it's mostly just used to demonize other religions. I don't know.
But this led me for another thing related to Mormonism is the poly people. I keep getting along with that. I keep getting on Twitter and on YouTube this polyamorous YouTube couple. I think they're called like I can't remember their name, but it's anytime I see a poly person, it's always like a bunch of women and one man. Like like anytime I see like a noteworthy like on the internet, like we are a proud polyamorous couple. It's always like way more women than men.
I'm trying to think of how many like polycules I've seen.
I've not seen them.
I don't really see. Oh, in real life, yeah, I've
not seen one in real life.
I've met a poly person, maybe multiple poly people. I've met one poly person that I know of, and then a handful of people who are like in non-monogamous relationships, but they're not like polyamorous, where they're not like dating a bunch of people at once.
Oh yeah, I know I've met polyamorous people, or people who are like in a relationship but they're not in a relationship. But I'm talking about, have you ever encountered a polycule? Like, have you ever been walking around?
I think those are two
and saw like
things.
all arm in arm, like
that. They're like that, like oh god.
They're just walking.
They're in that, what's it called? Like not, whatever the word is for like the knot where you all put your hands in and then you kick them out.
They're just.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that I've had it drilled into my head that there is like polyamory and then there's like non-monogamy, and these are they what's the word? I don't know. They overlap, but they're not the same thing, basically.
I've not hung out with enough freaks to
yeah,
to delve into to have these type of in-depth discussions.
I just remember seeing this woman. I'm not what's it called? Like principally against non-monogamy, like ethical non-monogamy, but I do remember this one woman that was like going around social media for a little bit where she was talking about being in a non-monogamous relationship, and she was basically like, yeah, my husband like wheedled me into it and then got really upset when he found out that I was also hooking up with other people, and I was like, a tale as old as time.
Oh yeah, we should open this up. And then they find out that the woman is like just getting like every night, like, and then he's like struggling.
But she just kept like making all these videos, just being like, no, I'm so happy, and like grinning, and people are like, are you okay? Did you want to do this? And maybe she was happy. Maybe her husband introduced her to something that was really cool, and then he ended up being miserable about it. But sorry, what were you gonna say?
I mean, I'm fine with people can do as they please. Like,
right.
I don't really care what. I even like even before, like when I was like young, and people would just be homophobic for no reason. and I didn't even know any gay people, but I just innately knew. I was like, but I don't care. Like I'm just like I was like it didn't put it together. I didn't put it together in mind. I'm like, this has no effect on me. I'm like, what they're doing, I don't care. So if they're happy, they're happy. But like, that could never. Poly, man. I can't imagine liking that many people because I already don't like people. like I gotta say, I have to know someone for like even for me to just be like, this person's kind of cool. I'm like, it has to. That's such a rare happening for me. So like I'm not one of those people that's just out here like, ooh, I like this person. I like this person. I'm like, I'm not that. So like that seems like I'm like, you like this many people? There's 7 people in your life that you like? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I've liked like a handful of people in my entire lifetime.
We were just getting on one of my friends about this because like every girl and not most guys, a handful of guys, and like every girl that he meets he like falls in love with, and we were like, how do you do this? Like he keeps like making a new friend and then being like, oh my god, how do I tell them that I like have feelings for them, and then inevitably like tells them 9 times out of 10 they don't feel the same way, but then they just continue being friends. So like there's just a circle of us that we're like, oh, we're like your harem now. We're just like,
wait, did this happen to all of you?
Yeah.
Did this
I'm like one of the and I didn't realize it at first, and then like he started telling me about the next girl, and I was like, oh man, I thought I was special, like I didn't realize you were doing this to everyone. And he was like, I don't know, I'm just like this. But
that is hilarious.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of us. And then we were sort of like, okay, you maybe don't, because he did end up like in this group of us, he did end up getting with two of the girls in this group. And then he brought this new girl into the group, and we were all like hanging out with her, and then someone was like, you should probably tell her, if you're into her, like that you've gotten with 2 of the girls in the group. Like you should tell her that sooner rather than later. And he was like, should I tell her like how many of the people I've like confessed I had feelings for? And we were like, no,
that's
you can
all
leave that out. Yeah, she'll join us, and then we can tell her. Inevitably,
he's for the streets.
He is.
He belongs to the streets, bro.
He's a certified lover boy, and that's the end of the sentence.
See, I never got that. Like, dude, like literally, in order for me to even somewhat be like this person, I have to like know them for so long, like and like interact with it. So I'm like, I've never, like people have many of women have like confessed their feelings for me, and I'm like, hey, maybe down the line, like, but I'm like, you're cool, like like I enjoy hanging out with you, but like it's just, for me, it's not that like, it's not that simple, I gotta like, I gotta know you, like and I feel that. I'm like, when those people who who constantly, like on Twitter, there's certain people I follow on Twitter who are just constantly like tweeting about a new person that they're so head over. They're like, they're all I can think about. I'm like, really, bro? This is like, you've been doing this so long, so often. A new person, so often.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I will say. Well, I'm like, I don't know. I'm being so careful with my words. But I remember seeing something where it was like, oh my god, the ideal relationship is where you're like both mutually obsessed with each other. And I was like, okay. In theory, sure. I don't know how I feel about mutual obsession. I'm like, even like in relationships that I've been in, I don't know if I would say we were like obsessed with each other. I don't know if I don't like the feeling of being obsessed with something. It's like stressful. I don't even know if this is something you can relate to, but I'm like, I'm prone to like worry, so I'm like, I don't like being obsessed with something. It's just, I don't know.
Obsessed is a strong word. Like, if you're I feel like it should like, if you're obsessed with anything, I feel like you shouldn't be obsessed with anyone, like even your own like kids, like, because then you're like, you're making everything about them, and you're putting like your own because if you're always putting another person first all the time, it's like
Yeah.
it's not gonna work out in the long run. Like you're gonna end up resenting this person because you're going to
It's
be like, I do so much for this person,
mhm.
and like, but I mean that's a tangent in and
Well,
of its own.
it's in the same way that I remember thinking when I was little. At some point, I remember seeing something where I think I had like learned the term like out of your league. And I was like, "Oh, the ideal relationship is like where both people think that the other one is out of their league." Like that
Nah,
just seemed like it made sense to me, and now I'm like, "No, no, 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 no."
real
Like,
niggas know there is no league. I had to look at the
yeah.
camera
I was like,
and say that one.
yeah. Like the ideal relationship is where you're both like, "All right, that's my person."
Yeah.
And like we vibe. And it's chill and we're not like freaking out over each other. But I mean I'm not gonna speak to what the ideal relationship is. I'm just gonna say, believe it or not, me in elementary school didn't know what the ideal relationship was.
I always look at it like when I look at my parents, I'm like that's like an ideal. Like they've been together for like 30 plus years,
Hmm.
and they're still like they're still actively like it's not they're just going through the motions. Like they're still actively like they're like it's date night tonight, and
Hmm.
they're like both getting dressed all nice, and
That's
my
sweet.
dad will come down with like some flowers, and he'll have on like the suit and the cologne and everything, like, and they and they're
That's so cute.
and he'll be like, I'm taking my girlfriend out tonight, like he'll say something like that. So to me it's like, but I wouldn't say they're like obsessed with each other. Like they both do their own thing. Like they're not attached at the hip. Like if they're going out, then they're arm in arm, but they're
Hmm.
not just like obsessed. Like they both have their own like their own lives, and they do
Yeah,
their own thing.
for sure. I think like a good place to be is just being like, I am my own person, and like I'm cool, you know? Like you thinking like I'm a cool person, that's a cool person, so I want to do life with that person. And not
Yeah,
being like I want to like rely on this person, and this person like makes me whole, and this person is what I
yeah,
need to like, cuz then it's like ooh, it's suddenly like there was a point in my life where I was like, oh my god, love is like the most all encompassing, like, and maybe it is, maybe I will eat my words one day and I'll be like, oh my god, I felt whatever. But so it's just like, I don't know, it just feels a lot more fulfilling when to me when it's like, oh, we're just two people that enjoy spending time together
yeah.
and we just want to keep doing that. And
What I feel like it shouldn't be based solely in romance.
right,
Like you should love the
you have to
person.
like your mhm.
You should love and like the person non-romantically. Like I feel like you should love the person as a friend, because
Yeah.
have you ever seen those people where they're together but they're like the romance is high but they're clearly like not friends. Like
Uh-huh.
like they clearly like I feel like you should be like best friends with them. Like I feel like it should be equivalent to that. Like if it's solely based on just like romance, then that's because that can vary. Like you're
I
not
keep
gonna feel like romantic all the time. You
I keep thinking of
know.
I think I mentioned on at some point that I've been watching Smosh lately, like new
Yeah, you've been
Smosh.
smoshing.
I've been smoshing. And um it's so funny because I was like such a big Smosh watcher when I was in like I had like third grade.
That's
Like
crazy
I
that you had
remember
internet in third grade.
yeah,
Man.
right. I remember being friends with this kid in third grade who was like, "You watch Smosh? I didn't know girls watch Smosh." And like he thought I was
Girls
so
still
cool, and
watch
he would
Smosh.
always be like, "Have you seen the new Smosh video?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." Anyway, watching them now, and it's like this whole group of people, and for those who know and for those who don't, they're two of the cast members were dating for like several
Oh
years.
yeah, I know you're talking about Courtney and Shane. Yeah,
Yeah, Courtney and Shane, and they hard launched with their wedding,
I know
which
internet things.
they posted on April Fool's Day, and so they're coming up on their. I think their anniversary is tomorrow, actually, as of
Oh
filming. It
nice.
might be today, but yeah, something about like they, based on the pictures that they posted, it looks like they'd been dating for like many years, but also
Yeah.
like up to that point, the impression was just like they're friends, and they were friends for a period of time because they just met working together. And that I always look at that and I'm like, man, that's so cool. To just be like, oh, like those two are such good friends, and then like that friendship blossoms into something bigger, and then they continue to sort of have their own identities, and they aren't seen as like shortney, quote unquote. Like they still are doing their own things, they have their own shows, they're directing their own whatever. So it's like, oh, it's just these two people, and then they also just like have this link because they like each other.
I feel like that's the issue with a lot of people aren't like becoming friends. People are like jumping straight into just like we're dating. Like they're not just hanging out and being like you know, like how are we as friends? Like because if you can't be friends with that person, like if y'all can't just hang out and like do regular things, then you ain't gonna make it. Like I feel there's a lot. I feel like the shortcomings. People are just desperate, like to rush.
I think people are so freaking lonely. I think we're so lonely and we're so atomized and we're so isolated. And there's a level of it where it's like people are like, oh, there are no third spaces anymore. And it's like, well, there are third spaces, but it's not the same. It's not the same as it used to be. We're a lot more. I feel like I've maybe complained about this before. This was always an issue that I had in college, was that I would get to a class on the first day and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to meet all these people. And everyone is just, where's my phone? I don't have my phone. I have deodorant. Everyone would just be like,
looking at their deodorant.
Everyone would be looking at their deodorant, and I'd be like, hey, and they'd be like, I was kind of like, what is going on? There were like a couple, I don't even know if there were a couple. I can't even like think of any. I feel like there was maybe one or two classes where like people actively interacted with each other. And for the most part, it would be like a lot of just people on their phones before class started, and like when class ended, people would just be on their phones. And I don't mean to be that like, oh, always on that damn phone, but it is like disappointing.
Always on that phone.
When I'm like,
people are bad at it, man. People are like,
and I'm no better.
So
there are
lonely.
times where I'm like, I don't know, on a bus. We talked about this in one of my linguistics, in one of my like sociolinguistics classes, about like, is it okay to talk to a stranger on a bus?
Yes.
And the overwhelming answer was like, no. If you're like a student, they were like, if a townie starts talking to you and they're like old, then it's like, okay, it's a little weird, but I'll talk to them. But like if a student starts trying to talk to another student, people are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I like talking to strangers. Like I like talking to random people. And it's seen as so like, why would you do that? In a way that I feel like it didn't used to be like that, because it was like, what else would you do? You just have to make conversation. It's
because of the internet. It's so funny because I've seen this happen where people will like go somewhere and they'll see someone, like it'll be a social event or something, and they won't acknowledge them. But then after, like at the end of the night, maybe the next day, they'll message them on social media like, hey, I saw you. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
That's
so weird.
Like you're right. Like this happened. Or it was this other thing I was seeing where this guy, he was like at the mall, and there was this girl just like sitting in the food court like eating by herself. And then he was like filming, he was like recording himself, but he was really like trying to film the girl behind him, like making it look like he was recording himself. Then he was like, internet, do your thing, tell me who this girl's social media is. And every comment was like, yo, she was right there, like you could have did your thing.
And I'm sure she would have loved to hear that too. Like he follows her on Instagram and he's like, hey, I posted a video of you in the mall and someone figured out who you were. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, because when I started college, the dining halls were closed because it was like peak COVID. And so you had to get your food to go, and it was they only had like rice and pot. It was so bad. I lost a lot of weight at the beginning of college because like the food was terrible. But I remember like I would walk past that building later and I would see it was like full of people, and I was like, I wonder what the dynamics are there. Like if you can just go up to a random table full of people, or maybe not a table full of people, but just like if someone is sitting there. Oh, because we also talked about this in that. I was like, why was I thinking about this? Because we also talked about it in that class. Like if you're sitting in the dining hall and someone came and sat next to you, like, or across from you, what would you do? And there's this one girl who was like saying that she has a bunch of stickers on her laptop, and so someone was like, if a stranger came up to you in the dining hall and like complimented your sticker, what would you do? And she was like, she thought it would be weird. And I was like, then what is the point of the stickers?
Why? That's the point.
Yeah, she was like,
yeah.
I can't even remember what it was. I think it was like she had her like horoscope sticker. And someone was like, yeah, what if someone like came up to you and they're like, oh, Aquarius, I'm an Aquarius too. And she was like, then I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Why are you talking to me? And I was like, why? They're trying to connect. Like, why are you being like this?
When I'm out and I'm wearing my Taking Back Sunday, tell all your friends hoodie, and if someone I want someone to come up to me and be like, I like Taking Back Sunday too. Yeah. Oh, what's your favorite song on that album? Yo, my favorite song is this. Yo, we both like Taking Back Sunday. You know, I want that. Like, that's the point. Otherwise, just wear like just communism fit with like dark
just
bleak.
Wear
like that is the point.
But there's this weird like what's the word? I want to call it like I keep saying people are allergic to things when I mean they don't like them. But there's this like aversion, that's what I'm looking for. There's this aversion to like social interaction that I'll see on social media a lot, to your point, where it's someone just being like, this guy just came up to me and tried to talk to me at the bar. Weird, don't do that. And I'm kind of like, can we be nuanced here? Can we distinguish between someone being creepy and someone trying to be like friendly?
Yeah.
And not like write everything off as like someone being weird.
Even if that guy is attracted to you, if they come up and say, hey, I think you're attractive, and then you're like, oh, thanks, and then you kind of brush them off, but they're not creepy for like, if they continuously keep going, then okay, that's creepy. But they're not creepy for just like coming up to you and like introducing themselves. Like that's life. It kind of reminds me. Did you see that tweet? It was a while back. It was a guy. He was like really excited for his first date. It was like my first date ever, and he had flowers. And he was like, I'm so excited. And the internet.
Oh my god! All
tore him apart.
By the time I got to it, his replies had been like flooded with positivity, but people were like they were quote tweeting it with like all these comments of guys being like, "Don't bring her flowers," or "What are you, a beta cuck?" And I was like, "What are we doing here? Why are we all so misanthropic? Like, why can't we just be friends?" I don't understand.
I hate the idea because I feel like it's making people think too deep about things.
Yeah.
And not just doing something that you think is nice. Because like if you're like, hey, this girl said she wants to go on a date with me tonight, and I just think she's so nice, I feel so good, I'm just gonna buy her some flowers. Then you should just buy flowers. You shouldn't have to be like, how will this come across? Is this too like? It shouldn't be like this, like, oh, it should just be like, hey, I like this girl, I'm gonna get her some flowers because that's just something I want to do. Like, it shouldn't be this whole like mind game to think about.
That's what I was gonna say. The fact that we are so like atomized already is gonna lead to a level of like social anxiety because it's not as natural for people, and to then like on top of that, like exacerbate that with people micromanaging the way that people go about social interaction and being like, oh, that one thing you did was weird. It's actually really like weird to do a thing that used to be considered commonplace. And I'm not talking about like actually bad things. Come on, be realistic with me here. But yeah, like I can't even think of, I know I've seen this where it's just like, oh, someone did a very benign act of trying to be friends with me, and now I'm gonna blast him on the internet. And
the screenshots, bro. Yo,
yeah,
dude, the people, I don't want to, because this is gonna sound like very what's the purple pill, red pill? Purple pill is that like, because red pill is that like men are superior. And then there's the purple pill where it's like they've just given up, like they're not going to, they might have some red pill like traditional mentality, but it's more so of like the juice is not worth the squeeze. Like I'm just not, like if they're at that position where like if something is going to happen for me, it's just going to happen naturally. I'm not going to pursue anyone. Like I'm just going to focus on myself, and
Okay.
like, so, you know, I see, people online are talking about how like men just don't approach women anymore in general. Like it doesn't happen at the rate that it used to, and like there'd be like long Reddit things about it, and they're like, yeah, because I say hi, and then I'm creepy. Like I see a girl that I think is I'm interested. Like I see her tweeting or on Instagram, and she's like talking about video games. I'm like, hey, I like this video game. What was your favorite part of that game? And then I'm screenshotted and put on their media, like,
Yeah.
look at this guy in my DMs, even though it is just like they're just like it's not worth it. I'm just not going to do it. Like they're like if they're like making a whole stand. They're like ladies, if you want something, you need to approach me because I'm not I'm not
Yeah.
going to do this.
And like far be it from me to be like, oh, think about the horny single men, but like, we can be nuanced here. We can say like, yeah, it's not nice, and it's not just it happens on both sides of it.
Yeah, on both sides. Like yeah,
Where
like, I was just
yeah, it's like people.
I didn't mean this in a purple pill way.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't. Yeah, no, I just realized as I was saying it, I was like, oh, I don't want to sound like one of those. I don't know. Hey, like it's very like pick me. I feel like to be. I'm playing into all of this by using these words, but just being like, yeah, I don't know. Like I think Raya, not that Raya is like the I don't know dating apps in general are just kind of a nightmare, but I think Raya will. They have like a screenshot warning now, where it's like if you screenshot someone's profile, you get like a warning, and then if you do it again, you get like your account gets deleted or something. And it kind of makes sense because oh my god, that is such a like it's such a vulnerable position to be in, where you're like trying to put yourself out there, and then people are screenshotting your profile and like sending it to their friends to make fun of. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like so. Oh my god.
Dude, this is a fear that I've seen a lot of men have, where they're like, I don't want to say anything to a woman in text because I know everything I say is going to be screenshotted and put in the group group chat. Like,
Yeah.
like, they're just like anything I say is going to be put in that group chat.
I have realized I've had that happen with a couple people where it's not so much like, oh, I'm scared to say things, but I'm just like, all right, whatever I say, there's like a 75% chance that this other person is going to see it because I know that they talk to this other person about everything. So I'm going to make sure that I tread carefully. I don't know. Yeah, it's not great. And I don't know what the solution for it is.
But like for me, I just don't care. I mean, I don't. Not that I feel like I don't. But this is not even like related to dating. Like just personal interaction. I just don't care how I come across. Like if I'm like, like, because I know I'm saying everything with a pure heart. Like I know in my mind, like as long as I know I'm doing something with a pure heart and pure intentions, I'm like, if it comes across in a way that's not that, because of like how lonely society is now, I'm like, this is not my problem. Like I'm not going to like stop me. Like this is not going to stop me. Like I'm just gonna do. I'm like, hey, I did this with pure intentions. I don't care. Like,
yeah, I guess being earnest and confident is like the cheat code for this. It's like just be unapologetically you, and then you're immune to all of this.
Like,
yeah,
I said it with pure intentions. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. Cameron, Killa Cam, we another FTA. We in here, man.
In here.
What makes the whites happy makes the blacks upset. Cameron is what? Oh yeah, what did you eat today? Tell me what you ate today.
I had a turkey sandwich, and
nice.
That's it. But
okay,
I should
not
eat something
nice.
else. I'll eat something else. Did I have anything else? No. I was offered an energy drink. They got like this new energy drink at work, and I was like, no thanks, I'm cutting caffeine. And then I was like, that's a crazy thing that I've just said.
You got
but
are you actually cutting caffeine?
Yeah, I have not had caffeine in a while.
Hey, I'm proud of you.
Of time, to the point that I was watching an old what was it? Oh, the last Sopranos. I'm gonna say when we filmed that Sopranos episode that you just posted, that was the last time I had caffeine. And so I was watching that and I was like, why am I drinking rain? I was like, I have not had one since then. So I was like, what was I doing? But anyway.
But yeah, Cameron is talented. Cameron is Jewish.
I am these things. Oh, thank you. Thank you, and yes.
Now that I got a girl, my ex wanna holler and spit. Told me acknowledge her quick. She's like, Cole, stop running on that Dave Hollister tip. Come over, let's swallow and sip. I'm like, mama, that's it. I promise you did. Usually have a problem with chicks. They all say I'm rotten and rich.